This is a captain's pick.
Obviously, there are some lessons in these things.
This is what the people of Australia want.
Are you a dead man walking?
No's 61, yes 39.
The Liberal Party has dealt with the spill motion.
He is super glued to that seat, member for Wentworth, and you are going to have to blast him out.
The helicopter was just ridiculous.
She's a good speaker. She has my confidence.
I met with the Prime Minister. I would be challenging him for the leadership.
This way, Julie. Malcolm, me.
Thank you. I, Malcolm Blight Turnbull, do swear that I will well and truly serve the people of Australia.
The 2015 parliamentary year ends with the victorious paying respect to the vanquished.
My thanks and the debt we all owe on our side of the parliament, and I believe right across the parliament and the community, to the great service of my predecessor as Prime Minister and leader of the Liberal Party, Tony Abbott. He has been a great Prime Minister.
Mr Speaker.
And the man who thought it would be a smooth ride to the next election delivered a friendly jibe.
I want to wish the Prime Minister a restful and happy Christmas break with Lucy and the family. As long as the truffles are up to standard, it's never been a more exciting time to be Malcolm Turnbull.
But with the minister under a cloud fighting for his job and a defection from the Liberals to the Nats, it's a very messy end to the year for Mr Turnbull.
I think Australia's ending the year pretty well. I think the change of leadership has been positive, not just for the coalition, but for the country. I think confidence has improved.
Arthur SINODINOS, a key supporter of Mr Turnbull in ousting Tony Abbott in September, is now the Cabinet Secretary and supports Mal Brough staying.
Yes, I do. He claims he's done nothing wrong. He's the subject of an investigation. That is ongoing. I think he deserves the benefit of the doubt, given what he has said.
If the Prime Minister won't act, then the Parliament must.
Again, Labor's motion to censure the Prime Minister for not standing aside Mal Brough failed. And the questions over Mr Brough's role in the circumstances surrounding Peter Slipper's downfall as Speaker in the last Parliament dominated question time.
Members on my left. You poor diddums.
Why won't the Prime Minister sack the Special Minister of State?
There is a process of investigation which may or may not result in charges being laid with the consequences that follow.
Why don't you take a cold shower, wait, and allow the judicial system and the legal system to take its course? The member for Chisholm is warned. Or is it the fact that the member for Isaacs knows full well what the outcome of that will be, and so therefore he wishes to prosecute it today for his own pathetic political purposes?
Parliament's scheduled to rise tonight for the year, giving Mr Brough and the Prime Minister a 2-month break from parliamentary scrutiny. Mal Brough's digging in, but another Queenslander isn't. In a surprise move, the former Industry Minister, Ian MacFarlane, has announced he's defecting from the Liberals to the National Party. In September, Malcolm Turnbull asked Mr MacFarlane, a long-time friend, to stand aside to allow frontbench renewal. It appears the friendship's not that tight.
I spoke to the Prime Minister yesterday. We had, as we always do, a wide-ranging discussion on a number of topics, and Malcolm and I have known each other for a very long time, and we had a fairly forthright discussion at times, but a discussion that ended amicably.
The switch could boost his chances at being a minister again.
I'll be considered on my merits, along with all the other members of the National Party, if a ministry becomes available.
He seems to be looking at his own career. I'm worried and concerned about things that affect the future of the country.
I think it's important for everyone to remember too, Malcolm Turnbull losing the leadership in 2009 really began with dissatisfaction in his leadership inside the National Party. And what we are seeing is a deal that's obviously being done behind Malcolm's back with Ian MacFarlane by his Deputy Prime Minister, Mr Truss, and the bloke who wants to be the Deputy Prime Minister, Mr Joyce. That doesn't pose well for a happy ending.
His wasn't the only defection this year. You made it to the end of the year.
Yes.
NRL star turned Palmer politician Glenn Lazarus became an independent senator.
I don't regret it. I guess, being independent certainly gives you the scope, I guess, to, make the right decisions that you feel are, the right decisions, as in you can sleep at night.
William, how did you get here before me?
The senator says there's been a marked change in negotiations with the Senate crossbench with the new Prime Minister.
For whatever reason, Tony wasn't very communicative, but Malcolm is.
As an independent, the senator says there are some issues he will champion, including close scrutiny of unconventional gas mining, including coal seam gas, and he wants to bend the PM's ear.
We've changed the leader, but we haven't changed the party. So his basic philosophy or policies and philosophies are the same. I just hope that he does take up my invitation to come out with me to these farms where there is CSG mining and just have a look for himself.
Hey, order, buffhead.
The party that usually capitalises on anti-CSG sentiment today sided with the government.
You use the term buffhead, it is unparliamentary, and I ask you to withdraw it.
To do a deal to pass multinational tax avoidance laws. It sparked fireworks.
I never thought that the Greens, Mr President, would cave to the big end of town's cries, because that's exactly what you've done.
To quote your leader, the Greens are on the side of angels on this, let me tell you, Mr President.
Multinational companies with a global turnover of $1 billion or more will have to provide more details of their tax arrangements in a deal done with the Greens. An exemption for private companies with revenue over $200 million from disclosing their tax affairs will now be closed.
How is it progressive to stitch up a deal with a Conservative side of politics, sell out the Australian taxpayer, in order just to be able to say, oh, we're in the game?
The opposition says the Greens, like Malcolm Turnbull, have sold out their principles. Labor is putting on a brave face as it heads into an election year, dismissive of poor polling for the party and its leader.
But at some point, Mr Turnbull's going to have to do a bit more. He's going to have to do a bit more than just tell everybody I'm not Tony Abbott. He has sold out, regrettably, in order to become leader of the Liberal Party and Prime Minister. He has sold out.
Senator SINODINOS is confident the government can be re-elected by winning the public's trust by being, well, the opposite of exciting.
I think the important thing with winning back office will be to show the people that we're a boring, predictable, competent government, that we deliver on what we say we're going to do and that we will keep our promises. It's very important to earn the trust of the Australian people, and every day between now and the next election, that's what we're going to be doing by everything that we do.